So Gaijin has finally released what is to be considered the final round of the BR changes, and with it comes a ton of stuff that you guys have been asking for during the initial reveal of, well, this current BR changes. And I will admit, there are a lot of things in here that I am very happy for, and in fact, you'll see very much how happy I am because it buffs a nation that has been needing this since it initially came out. But as always, before we go ahead and get started, the background footage you're currently watching was based from my streams over on Twitch. So if you guys want to see content outside of just the norm you see right here, and you want to get a little bit more personal with me as a creator, as a person, the live streams are a great place to do that. But since we're here on YouTube, if by any chance you do enjoy these videos or just in general the content, feel free to subscribe to the channel as I am trying to hit that 100K before the year's out. If we can do it before the summer, that would be even better. And to those who have already done so, thank you and welcome to the channel. Oh, and if by any chance you want to go ahead and read this for yourself, I will have a link to this down below in the description. Now, Gaijin made this a hell of a lot easier, and by Gaijin I mean Stona here. They made it so that now you don't have to click on the spreadsheet to see everything, although I still would suggest you do so to keep things a little bit easier for you, but for the most part, this makes life a lot simpler for us. I know, we're gamers, we're lazy ones at that too. How do I know that? Because I'm one. So scrolling down the initial intro in this post, you'll see, of course, the changes they made, which is very nice. Now, we'll get into the actual BR log itself a little bit after we take a look at the highlights, as you can see right here. Now, the first one, which is a very important one, is the Strela. It is being moved up, not by one step, but by 2 steps, from battle rating 9.3 instead to 9.7, now to battle rating 10.0, all while moving up the rank of it from rank 6 to rank 7. That's a big thing. Have you played against the Strela? If you haven't, that thing's nuts. I bring it out over the pants here, I would say about 8 out of 10 times, because this missile does not miss unless you outrun it, which even then is a little difficult to do. If you played against it, you'll know exactly what I mean. So having this move up to 10.0 to me makes a ton of sense, although it creates a really big gap from the previous, which sits at 8.0 to 10.0, which I think Gaijin should maybe bring in the Shoka with the man pads on it. That's just me, kind of like the Gepard, but a Shoka at maybe 8.7. Who knows? But moving on from that, one of the biggest frustrations I heard from my previous video over in the live streams as well as on the forums was the French being massacred at around 7.7. That has somewhat changed, and they did give some good reasoning for it, at least in my opinion. Now, reading, after reviewing your feedback, we've dropped the battle rating changes for the Samua SM, the EBR Model 1963, and the AMX M4, but are keeping the changes to the Char 25T, AMX 50, TO 9930, where their battle rating will still be increasing to 8.0. That's how they wrote it out, which means that I'm sorry, my French mains, you guys are losing about half of your 7.7s, 7.3s, you know what I mean. But they did give some reasoning, and it says we're still going ahead with these as the previous increase in reload speed has significantly bettered their efficiency figures, which is weird because if you look at the Swedish right now, they're doing very well, but I digress. Where these French tanks are 60 to 70% above the average at their rank, and 7 of the 10 most efficient light and medium tanks at rank 5 are French. So the current 7.7 French lineup is very strong, excuse me. I can't English right now. And due to this, we're going to increase their battle ratings. I'll be real with you guys, I did forget about those reload buffs as I don't play down here too often, but that kind of makes sense if you think about it. They got a buff in reload speed, their firepower got a lot better. It only makes sense for them to move up in battle rating, which you'll see a little bit later in this post is something that Gaijin won't be doing for specific vehicles of nations who just reached below or just met the below 50% average rate at top tier. I'll get more into that a little bit later. Now, scrolling down just a little bit more to the ground vehicles, as I will not be covering much of the aviation side of stuff simply because this isn't the channel for it. I can't give you guys awesome information in regards to how these aircraft perform at their respective battle ratings. There are other brilliant creators, one of which I would recommend is Defin. He knows exactly what he's doing and talking about. For the live stream parts of things, I would say maybe Copsy when he does stream. Yeah, those two. But talking about the ground vehicles, the T-20 won't get too far into it. It did get a BR increase, and it is getting a PCR. Not that it matters too much, but one particular thing that is very important to me is the Merkavas, the 3B, the 3C, the 3D, which is the USA version, the 4B, the 4M, and the 4LIC, as well as some of the Magashes, which we'll get to in a second, have gotten a rate of fire increase from 9 to 10 rounds per minute, putting it on par with every other top tier nation with an aced crew of 6 seconds for the reload. That's good. I've been complaining about that for almost a year now, where it's like, why is the Merkava sitting at 6-7 aced crew reload when it has an assisted loader, meaning that it's a physical loader guy basically punches the door open, it semi-ejects the shell, helps him load the projectile on the breach, etc., etc. I'll be real with you guys, this one has me a little bit emotional because, oh man, I love the Merkavas, right? They're beautiful vehicles, but to see it just suffer the way it did with its reload speed, oh man. And to think Gaijin said they're overperforming. Yeah, I'm ranting at this point. But moving on, the M48A1, the Chinese M48A2, Magash 2, the rate of fire has been increased as well from 8 to 9 rounds per minute, which is very good. But remember when I said that a specific nation has reached the below 50% threshold for top tier? I think this has something to do with it. The 2S25M is now getting the 9M119 M1 ATGM, which is a tandem 700-ish. It's one of those numbers, right? Millimeter penning missile, which is very good. And now it is also getting a replacement from 3BM46 to the best that the Russians have, the 3BM60. And keep in mind, this vehicle is also staying at 10.0. Although I think they're going to likely move it up. I mean, 3BM60 at 10.0, that's like KEW or M829A2 at 10.0. They're not quite the same. I get it. Can't really compare, but it is the best the Russians have at a significantly lower BR. But with all that being said, let's jump over to the actual battle rating log and see in detail what these changes are. Now, scrolling down just a little bit, you'll see the M60A3, the Magash's M48s, Merkava's 2S25 and 2S3M, all are getting their changes in pure detail, right? That's a lot of vehicles to receive an increase of rate of fire, which is very nice. But when it comes to the M60A3 for China, the positions of the shell modifications have been changed. The M456 has become the default shell along with M728. And then you get the M416 modification has been moved from rank 3 to rank 1 in the modifications below, with M735 being moved from rank 4 to rank 3 in the modifications window, which means that you're getting a buff. Not that I would personally know. I don't play this thing, to be honest. But to those who do, well, there you go. But when it comes to aviation, I'm just going to go over the important ones, at least for me, which is the F104, A and the G for China are going down sort of in the realistic battles from 10.7 to 10.3. The A model is going to 9.7 in sim. The F5s are staying at their respective BRs, with the Mirage 2000 C5 and the J8F staying also at their respective BRs. And then you'll see right down below it, the MiG-29 going up to 12.7. Which makes sense. That thing, in truth, is better than even the Russian one. It makes sense. It's lighter, means it's stronger. I don't know the whole details. Don't quote me on that, please. So there you have it. That was the next round of changes for this BR list. But I'm sorry to say I wasn't able to cover fleet. I'm just not well experienced with that kind of stuff quite yet. If you want someone who is very well experienced and incredibly dangerous to play against, Napalm Rat is your guy to go for anything and everything related to naval in War Thunder. I'm sure there's many others, but in truth, I don't really know of them. I'm sorry, I don't check that side of YouTube. But keep in mind, these changes are not final. You still have time to go in there and let them know about your opinions. Just tell them. I mean, they're listening to us right now. They listen to you guys' frustration for some of the French stuff. And apparently someone's been asking for the 2S25M to get 3BM60. I'm sure it fires it in real life, right? I wouldn't doubt it, but I didn't know it did, to be honest. So to whoever that is, good on you. I like that vehicle. It's going to get a revisit from me at some point when it does release. So keep an eye out for that release as well. But again, if you don't like these changes, go to the forums. Let them know. All right, I'm okay with everything right now, but you guys just do it. Link, description, you know the whole deal. And that's really it. I hope you guys did enjoy this next round of Talking Head. It is my final one for these BR changes, unless something traumatic happens, something incredibly game-changing, then yes, we'll do another one. But for now, this is the final for this. But I hope you guys did enjoy everything. I hope you enjoy the background gameplay. If you want to see that gameplay live, you know exactly where to find me over on Twitch and occasionally here on YouTube, to which I'll get more into, I promise. And don't forget to support the channel by subscribing if you did enjoy everything. But as always, I will see you not only in the next video or even the streams, but most certainly in the new BRs at top tier. I'll see you next time.